Quite the dramatic triple header we've had. We make our way to the final GP of this triple header in Silverstone. Upgrades are always common in Silverstone due to it being so close to where many teams originate from. Aston, Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, they're all teams that are super close to the Silverstone base, and most of them even use the track for their film days when they announce their new cars. This GP usually brings updates, and we do have some confirmation from some pretty big teams that will bring parts here. We've seen some big packages in Spain, we saw a little bit of something in Austria. This should be the finishing out. Some big parts, some little parts, but let's talk about all of them. Before getting into the bigger part of the video, I wanted to thank you guys for the support on the channel. We're doing outstanding, and I can't thank you guys enough for just stopping by, giving it a like, and if you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and shows me that I'm doing a great job, so thank you so much for the support. But let's get into the upgrades coming to Silverstone. The big teams are bringing stuff here, but as for the little teams who have done big damage in Austria, Haas is bringing parts here. They believe that Austria was a huge statement. A P6 and a P8 was quite the performance they had in Austria. They were actually a very fast car under the hands of Nico and Kevin. Both had an outstanding race and pretty drama-free considering they were close to each other. They have brought updates through this season. They've been minimal. We saw something in China, a couple of revisions to the mirror, something with the floor, and a little bit of weight loss that added it. But the team is supposed to be bringing their biggest package here to Silverstone yet. Considering the last couple of years where Haas just brought one big upgrade package, this is quite the change of scenery for the team. This is supposed to be a big revision to what they currently have. Their pace has obviously been very good, and a lot better than what Komatsu was even saying in the beginning of the season. He was predicting this car was going to be 10th. They didn't end up coming out 10th. Their race pace has been great, and their qualifying pace is not bad at all, especially in the hands of Nico. There was definitely a lot of backlash to hiring Komatsu, but he's definitely been a great addition to the team. Obviously being in the system for a very long time has helped out. And Haas has been bringing little parts here and there. They've been able to change their rear wing from GP to GP. They finally had a Monaco package. That's something they haven't had for a very long period of time, but due to the way that they've been able to sort out that cost cap system, especially within their budget, they were able to bring some package and be somewhat competitive there. Now, obviously, they did have some illegal DRS system there, which didn't help them out, but it's still a big stepping stone for the team. Now, going into Silverstone, we expect their biggest upgrade package yet, at least the words from Ayo Komatsu. And where I expect to see this is probably somewhere within that undercut area, towards the engine cover. We still have yet to see them revise that aerodynamic efficiency throughout the middle of the car. I don't expect them to bring some huge floor upgrade as the team is still super far behind, and I think these lower end teams don't really focus too much on the areas that require a lot of work. That's why we saw the simplicity of the Williams floor in 2023. I assume the Haas floor is not too far off. They're obviously working upon it, but I don't expect them to have a crazy innovation towards the bottom. Hopefully this can propel them even higher, get them above Alpine. I mean, they're honestly doing better than the Aston Martin right now, so good for Haas. They're having a good season as of right now. A team that hasn't confirmed anything, but I just wanted to talk about is Red Bull. They brought the package that was supposedly for Silverstone in Spain. Will they bring something here? I assume so, but I don't think it's going to be that big like it was in Spain. It's clear this team is hitting that wall and getting to that last point to where they can really add additional parts to the car to make it so much faster. Now, obviously going into the winter for 2025, this car will get a lot faster, but throughout the season, I don't expect huge gains from them. Silverstone probably will bring them some parts, but nothing huge, and nothing has been confirmed from Marco. Even though we heard from him specifically, the parts will be coming to Silverstone. So maybe there's still more to the Spain package that we didn't see. They didn't bring anything to Austria. It's just an assumption from me as of right now. Ferrari and Vasseur have talked about upgrades, and it's obviously been a weird couple of GPs for them since Canada. They did finish on the podium. Carlos had quite the quiet race, no drama, but just did a Carlos Sainz type race, performed perfectly, did the strategy well, and got the car into P3. But Vasseur has talked about these upgrades and why they think this trajectory is still good and they haven't been able to pull out the full performance yet. Where Ferrari has really struggled with this new performance package update is porpoising. Again, the car is bouncing in high speed corners. We saw this in Austria, we saw it in Spain as well. Now, these tracks aren't the flattest, but they're tracks where you don't usually see the car bounce in high speed. This is typically due to an overload on downforce with these cars being so floor oriented. The suction of the car can make the car go up and down, bounce around. we saw this be a common problem in 2022, but yet again, Ferrari is struggling with this as of right now. In Silverstone, this shouldn't be the case. It's a very flat track. For them to be bouncing would be a severe problem for them. And I do expect full optimization of these updates here. Vasseur has said no step back at Silverstone on updates. So the car is getting some parts here. Now the package that did come to Spain was supposed to be their Silverstone package. They did expedite some parts of it. There is some upgrades left from this package to bring here to Silverstone, and that's what we'll see on the Ferrari. I'm not sure what this could be. Maybe it's something oriented towards a new front wing. They have not been as aggressive as Red Bull and McLaren on that front. McLaren just brought something, and we saw that it actually gave them another gain and help in direction for Austria. So I do expect the same, at least at some point, from Ferrari. There is something coming here in Silverstone. Hopefully they can get back to that position where they can actually fight, and we see that three-headed dragon come out towards the front of the grid. But why not see 4 dragons, 4 top teams at the top, with Mercedes bringing crucial updates that are still yet to come? Toto Wolff, Lewis, and George have all talked about upgrade packages. Silverstone has been one of the targeted dates for them. And this is one of the cars out of the top 4 teams that still has a lot to add on to, considering this concept is still relatively new. The team has talked about upgrades coming. Andrew Shevlin has also talked about the updates coming very soon, and Silverstone seems to be that targeted date. Lewis and George have said that the team is not making huge upgrade packages. They're bringing parts to every single GP. They're one of the only teams within that top 4 to be doing this, but it has been working out for them specifically, maybe because of the correlation within the wind tunnel. That's always been a struggle through these new regulations. So slowly bringing updates, finding out exactly how the car is going to react here and there is important for them to keep making steps. The revised side pod has been talked about for a very long period of time. It's one of the only pieces on the car so far that hasn't been aerodynamically shaped as of yet from the beginning base car we saw at the beginning of the season back in February. Also, a floor was talked about within this triple header. That's very possible we see this at Silverstone, considering how close the factory is to here. Mercedes has confirmed it, and I do think we're going to see some type of update package for the team here. Considering they got this win in Austria, even with the luck, they were only about 10 seconds behind the Red Bull and the McLaren, which is quite impressive on a track that I thought McLaren and Red Bull were going to be way ahead of the rest. They were able to overtake the Ferrari here, had a great race from George's end. Lewis did have damage, it ended up putting him behind. Maybe it's possible we could have saw Lewis win here. It was very close amongst the 2 drivers. We did see Lewis overtake George at some point, but both drivers have been on it. Ever since Canada, both George and Lewis have been in contention for a podium, at least in every single race. With the upgrades coming here, what do you guys think? You think we're going to see 4 of these top teams all fight coming into this GP in Silverstone? It is quite the track. I don't think any team has quite the advantage here like we used to see with Red Bull or even back in the Mercedes days. This is a Lewis Hamilton specialty track, so let's see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. It would mean the world, and peace.